Hi, good afternoon. This is your guy, your host, DLG Reppin on my football channel. Ladies to the gentlemen, to the boys, to the girls. Hope you're having a good day so far. And I hope you're enjoying my football context, yeah? Well, if you don't at the moment, you will do soon. Or sooner rather than later. Or maybe later on you'll enjoy. You know, all good things come to those who wait. So, yeah, I've just been reading some football stuff on the Sky Sports app, and well, there's some things to talk about. But let me just, before I kick off with what I really want to talk about, well, in fact, let me go through the list of things that I've written down. I've written down that Brazil have withdrawn from the hosting the female World Cup, which is going to be in 2023. So they've withdrawn. Former Liverpool, Man City, and AC Milan striker Balotelli is set to have another contract terminated in his football career. I'll get onto him later on. And how would Arsenal fans feel if Saudi Arabian Prince bought Arsenal instead of Newcastle? Well, I'll definitely get onto that later on. Speaking of Arsenal, ex-Arsenal and Real Madrid and Spanish international winger Jose Antonio Reyes passed away last year, and I think it's exactly a year ago that he passed away. And he's got to be held accountable for speeding at 120 or 30 odd miles per hour in the Spanish city of Madrid. And with that sort of speed, a split second slip up, and, well, the crash that he caused himself, well, he only had about, a 5 to 10% chance of surviving because he was so badly injured. He was all but dead by the time that help got to him. He was all but dead, and then probably pronounced dead a day or two later. So for me, enjoy your cars. Look, if you want to buy a beautiful flash car, then do so, but treat it with care. You know, when you're driving, you treat the accelerator, the brakes, and the clutch, or accelerator or brakes with care. You know, you treat the steering wheel with care. And you don't mess around with it, you know. It's there for it's there for your good, but you gotta be if you're gonna be using the car, do it for your own safety and safety of others. Or safety for yourself, should I say. But Reyes, I don't know what happened there. Reyes, he messed about, obviously, and it's cost him his life, and he was too soon of him to die. Only in his early 30s, I would assume. But it is sad and tragic. You know, tragic waste of life. Well, not a tragic waste of life, possibly a tragic waste of his career as a professional footballer, because he still had a bit to offer, and he was still playing as well. And that's such sad shame that he played Grand Theft Auto with his life at stupendous speed. So Antonio Reyes, do rest in peace. However, so moving on, I'm gonna get on to the World Cup in 2023. That's the Women's World Cup that was spoken about, because Brazil had a bid in, and then they've withdrawn for whatever reason. I can find it on teletext there. Oops, control. There we go. Where am I going? Right, let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. As the title says, Brazil withdraws 2023 World Cup bid. Brazil has withdrawn its bid to host the 2023 Women's World Cup the Brazilian Football Confederation said the government did not consider it wise to offer financial guarantees in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. But then again, in 2 years, the next 18 months to 2 years, surely, and I mean surely, the coronavirus would have been controlled by most countries other than England, and society would be a better place out of England. It is in New Zealand. Anyway, reading on. Brazil will now support Colombia's proposal, which is up against Japan, and joint bid from Australia and New Zealand to host a 32-team tournament. FIFA will vote to select their hosts on June 25th. Well, we'll find out in the next couple of weeks whether Australia and New Zealand both get the World Cup there, or it'll be hosted in Japan. I think it would be nice to go to Australia and New Zealand, but it should be one country. But if they want to join up with New Zealand, or New Zealand want to join up with Australia, then that's fine. Excuse me. Yeah, it'll be extended to 32 teams because the last World Cup only had, 24 teams? Yeah, it did have 24 teams, so that's another 8 more teams. So that will be all equal there. 32 teams, 8 groups of 4s. That's fair. That gives the top class nation to the less superior nation the opportunity to compete at the world stage, and especially the smaller teams, because they want to make a name for themselves. And where can you make a name for yourself bigger than the World Cup itself? It's the biggest stage in the global of football, so that will be nice. And the last World Cup was always going to be won by the United States of America ladies. I mean, they're a phenomenal side, and they will take some beating in 3 years' time. I mean, any fans of women's football, drop your comments below, and subscribe to my channel. Yeah, do subscribe to my channel as well as like it. And when I say like, drive the thumbs up like button. And yeah, I was going to say the last bit last. I was going to save the last bit last. Subscribe to my channel, yeah. Smash that red button for me, left, right, and center. Speaking of subscribers, yeah, big up yourself, yeah. LJ, yeah, big up yourself, LJ, for subscribing to my channel, yeah. Thanks for the love and support, yeah. All bless. And I did tell you, I do shout out to people who subscribe to my channel, yeah. And I'm not gonna call him by his real name, but he knows who he is. Big up yourself. It could be 5, 10 LJs I could be talking about there. But big up yourself, sir, yeah? Bless up. So, let's move on to other news. And that's former Liverpool, Manchester City and AC Milan striker Mario Balotelli. Oh, what can be said about this guy other than him being troublesome? He's never settled down with a club. His attitude is beyond disgusting. It's just as bad as coronavirus, his attitude. And his mentality to complete the argument. I mean, he had all the potential in the world. Another one like Michael Richards, who wasted his potential, being a jack in the lad, letting off fireworks in his bathroom, making it public that he wants a kiss on the lips from the Queen. Really? This guy, he can make you laugh or he can piss you off. Excuse the French. And for me, as a football fan, I couldn't stand him. I didn't like his demeanor, his whole attitude. Just makes you sick how disgusting he is as a team player. He wasn't even as a non-team player for me. He's just someone you can't work with, and he'll upset any change room around the world. That is guaranteed. He upsets I think during his time at Manchester City, he upset his own teammates. Thank goodness Pep Guardiola was not manager at the time. Otherwise, he would have been gone in 5 minutes. And I mean 5 minutes. And this guy, he's gone to Liverpool because Liverpool were really desperate and short of strikers. They took a chance with Balotelli. And I'll never forget that he violated Jordan Henderson by taking the ball off him when Liverpool had a penalty. And he was told he was not going to take it, but he refused because of his stupid, courageous ego. And that's the problem with Balotelli. His ego, his attitude comes before anybody else. He's always thinking of himself. He's a selfish, ignorant, destructive human being, as well as a professional footballer. And I remember the time my beloved Arsenal were linked with him. Thank fuck that we did not sign this guy. The dressing room was as toxic as it is. We don't need to add to it with that virus. I'm sorry, I just don't like Balotelli. I'm not a fan of him. I don't even know why I'm talking about him. But you know what? He joins the list of naughty footballers such as Edmondo, Vinnie Jones, Julian Dix, players who are ill-disciplined, out of control. And Balotelli he's never far from being in the headlines for the wrong reasons. And that's the truth. I mean, I saw potential at Inter Milan, but even Jose Mourinho couldn't control him. He was always wanting to do what he wants, as long as the Mario Balotelli ego brigade was fed with blossoming egos. You know, and never mind his teammates, never mind the clubs, never mind his teammates, the clubs he's played for, the board of directors he played under, and the fans. It's all about Mario Balotelli. And he scores a couple of goals in a 6-1 demolition of Man United. I mean, Man United fans might get back to me in my comment section below. I know a particular Man United fan that will bring up some heavy defeats. And I'm just saying from my memories of Balotelli, by the way. This is not a dig at Man United. So, calm yourself down. Settle yourself. Yeah? You London Man United fans. Anyway, he scored his first goal in that his first goal out of the 2 goals that he got in the 6-1 demolition of Man United, and he unveils a t-shirt saying, "Why always me? Why always you? Because you've been a pain in the arse all your football career. Been nothing but negativity. Plagued with negativity. No, plagued with disruption. You've always been stubborn. You've had a poor attitude. And you forget it's a privileged position to be a professional footballer, earning the money that you've earned in this modern day and age. You take it for granted, Mr. Balotelli. You don't realise how lucky you are. And there's others that will give an arm and a leg and the rest to be in the position that you are in. And that's those who fail to make it even at semi-pro level, never mind professional. You really take the good fortunes that you've accomplished in your life for granted. And you should I think you should sit down or stand up and look yourself in the mirror and think, why did I even put that t-shirt, why always me? And think about your behaviour. You're hardly a role model to young children watching the beautiful sport called football. In fact, you're hardly a role model to yourself. How can I take you seriously? Your whole demeanour is just pure endless bullshit after bullshit. And that sums you up, Balotelli. And it's any wonder that Brescia, the latest club, want to terminate your contract. Even the owner cannot stand you. You've always got a spanner in the works in you. You are a toxic person. It must be because that you are a toxic person. As a footballer, you got the potential to be one of the best strikers in the world and you didn't even realise it, or you just took it for granted. Because of your whole demeanour comes first. Your ego, your behaviour. It is not positive. And that sums you up as who you are, as Mario Balotelli. Anyway, you just keep lighting up fireworks in the bathroom. Why don't you? And dreaming of kissing the Queen on the lips. Right, I'm going to move on from you to a scenario here with Arsenal. Now, we know that Mr. Dangote has come out and publicly said that he's going to try his best to buy us over from Stan Kroenke in 2021. Well, do you know what they say? Seeing is believing. That's what they say, isn't it? Well, how would you Arsenal fans feel? Well, here's a question for you guys. How would you Arsenal fans feel about we having a Saudi Arabian prince worth extremely fucked up amount of billions of pounds buying us over instead of Newcastle? I wouldn't be complaining for a start. I guarantee you I wouldn't be complaining. As long as we get the right players, which is all good, but you know what? With the right players, you need the right manager to motivate these players, to organise them from keeper to attack, to organise his bench, and to organise training methods as properly as possible. Make sure they're well drilled. And this owner's got to get a manager to make sure the team are competing to be successful on a regular front, because we all want to become winners, and that's the aim, to get the manager who wants to win. Even if you have to throw a bit more money at it, into his wages, into what he's paid per second, a minute, an hour, etc., then fine. I'm for it, providing that we're not used as a cash cow, unlike that parasite Stan Kroenke, who I and millions of Arsenal fans who I speak for want him the fuck out. Like, even right now. So, yeah, I read a long article about how would Arsenal fans feel about having a Saudi Arabian prince buying us instead of Newcastle. And it was interesting, some of the things that I was reading, how we shouldn't be bought because of a propaganda, or like the way wrestling, golf and whatnot was being made as an example. But for me, it will be, speaking as an Arsenal fan, I would be delighted. Will I be confident of winning every trophies? No, we haven't got the defining rights to win any trophies. And this is the ugly argument that I've had with Man United fans most of my life, especially the ones in London. The arrogance and the sheer arrogance and disregard for the sport. That's how far I feel for Man United fans in London. Because they think they can beat everybody. Deluded. They've become deluded in the last 7 years, but there you go. But for me, I would look at this situation as a beautiful situation, but more or less a beautiful opportunity for us to become a powerhouse in world football. All but we have got to earn it. And we've got to bring a manager who shares that vision, because if he doesn't he may shade a vision, but if he doesn't match the targets that we're aiming for, then of course there's going to be a change in management, and of course management will always be under pressure. So, ladies to the gentlemen, to the boys to the girls, I'm coming to the end of this video. If you feel that you've got something to say on my channel, then drop it in the comments below. I mean, ladies, ladies, football fans, how do you feel about Japan or Australia or New Zealand hosting the World Cup in 3 years? Drop it in the comments below. If there's, anyone who supports Liverpool, Man City, AC Milan, for that matter, just tell me how do you rate Balotelli out of 10, and tell me the sort of person Balotelli was. I've given you my opinion, so if you've got an opinion, drop it in the comment section below. And Arsenal fans, you know the question, yeah? How badly would love that Saudi Arabian prince to come take over us instead of Newcastle? Just drop it in the comments below. Would you be happy or not? That's the question I put out there. Otherwise, all football fans, do leave your thoughts and your opinions in my comment section below, and we'll have a conversation. Smash the thumbs up like button, yeah, as much as possible for me, please. And do subscribe to my channel, yeah. And like I've done, I've bigged up an individual for subscribing, and I'm going to big up more individuals for subscribing to my channel, yeah. And that's DLG Reppin, my football channel. And I've got now 36 subscribers. Hey, thumbs up for me. Pat on the back. 36 and counting, should I say. Now, I'm waiting on 37, 38, 50, 100, 200. All subscribers for me. Strictly subscribe to my channel, please. Yeah? Help the channel grow. And I'll help you by keeping it consistent with more live videos, yeah? Or more latest videos, should I say, with my live recording. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, yeah? Your guy, your host himself, DLG Reppin. And I'm going to cut, so it's peace, love and bless. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening, yeah? And remember, as well as like and comment on my channel, subscribe, please. Laters.